truth we're seeking is really the only reason why we're here. Some of us are in denial of that. Some of us are not willing to accept that the entire purpose of us being on the planet is to find the truth, find joy, find love. So the truth is really present in all of our relationships. If we were to experience this life entirely alone, then it would be easy. Nothing would trigger us. So it is the triggering relationships that create the lessons. That is not to say that we have to stay in relationships that are causing us pain, that are constantly torturing us, but it's the recognition that that's where the lessons are. That's where we learn the most. More meaningful an interaction is, the more meaningful the relationship is, the more we invest in it, the more we create an attachment. And so therefore, the more painful it becomes when it falls apart and there's a lesson to be learned. So seeking meaningful relationships and allowing them to take their course is so crucial for our current well-being and for the growth that we experience long-term throughout our lives. And that is a great thing. We tend to run away from that because we're trying to avoid pain, or we feel that pain is an irrational aspect of our lives that shouldn't be present. But that is not true, because we really, the truth is that we only learn through pain. We only learn through trauma, drama. We learn through chaos, through experiences that were far beyond our control. There wasn't anything we could have done differently. And if we could have, it is almost certain that the results would not have been any different. Because otherwise, we get lost in the worlds of what ifs. What if we had done that? What if I could have said this? I should have gone this way. I would have reacted a different way. She or he would have done this. And when an experience is so rigid that leaves no room for any what ifs, then we actually learn. Then we actually grow. And this is why we stay in relationships longer than we would like. And we judge ourselves for that. But the plus side of that is that when it's time to exit and we no longer can take the pain, then we finally do leave, and that leaves no room for any misunderstandings. Now, this is exactly where the struggle begins for most of us. Seeking meaningful relationships, right? We cannot do that. We struggle to find quality relationships in our lives. We struggle to maintain those relationships in our lives. And oftentimes, there are many reasons why this could happen, but oftentimes it is because of our expectations. We are not satisfied with relationships as they present themselves. He doesn't have enough money, he's too fat, she's too skinny for me, she talks too much, like all these other excuses that we come up with because the person that we are connecting with is not the right person. It's not the person we were expecting to have. So we have this list of qualities that we are seeking in a partner, and we must find those qualities in every single relationships. And if one person does not give us those qualities, then next we move on to the next. This is unfortunately not a healthy way of looking at things. For one, some physical aspects of relationships do change anyway. And I'm not talking about people just growing old together, but if your sex life isn't what you were expecting it, this could just be the fact that you have been used to a different way of making love to somebody, and it's a lack of communication perhaps, right? And so if you give enough time to this relationship, to the new partner, maybe there is potential, and maybe you'll like it. And this idea that maybe I'll like it is such a crucial part of our entire existence that I'm not sure if we are aware of, because we are so focused on what we want in life that we never really question, is the thing I want actually the thing that I want? And by that I mean we are aware that we have been victims of conditioning throughout our lives. And I use the word victim not to blame the previous generation, but to hopefully leave a mark on you, to recognize what an important part of your existence your conditioning is, right? Your parents, your family members treated you how they felt was right, to the best of their understanding 20, 30, 40 years ago. And so here you are with a set of beliefs and ideas that are older than your deepest memories. I want to say that one more time. Your conditionings are far older than your deepest memories, okay? So there's no way that you would know if you have been conditioned with this thought, or if this thought is completely original from the bottom of your heart and it's truly authentic to you today. And in fact, I could even argue that every authentic thought has at least some root in your conditioning and in your upbringing and in your programming. So do we question that enough? And unfortunately, what I see more and more is that we do not question that enough, right? Back to the comment that I made earlier, was that maybe I'll like it, right? Maybe I'll like it is such an important comment because it recognizes that your psyche is evolving. Your conditioning is constantly being manipulated, being changed by the current existence, by today, by the now. And maybe I'll like it leaves room for you to experience the now and let this moment, the now, to change, to affect, to shape the future, to form the future for you. And the craziest thing is that if you don't allow the maybe I'll like it to happen, to go through, if you don't go through with that, the future will be entirely different. So either way, you are essentially forming your future. But the difference here is that by allowing yourself to explore something that maybe you won't like, but maybe you will, you have left the door of adventure open. And the door of adventure is the door to life. That is really the only way we truly live is through adventure, through experiences, through mistakes. Every single mistake is a lesson learned. Every single mistake allows us to be more focused on the next choices we make in life. So every single mistake is valuable. It's to be cherished. And I'm not sure if we truly understand that. So to recap as best as we can, that was a mouthful. Our relationships shape our existence. Our relationships are the source of our joy, the source of the present moment. It's how we experience life. Our relationships are a mirror, essentially, to our own existence. It's how we evolve our own self-growth. And the more these relationships are meaningful to us, the more they become a source of attachment. And if things fall apart, then that attachment, and even if things don't fall apart entirely, if you don't go through a complete breakup, but there are fights, there are arguments, right? those attachments are the sources of our growth. There is a difference between not suffering from attachments versus avoiding attachments, right? Avoiding an attachment is not detachment. Avoiding an attachment is not detachment. This is the craziest lesson that I've learned in the past few months. And I can't say that enough. So I will end the video here because I think that's really the most important thing, to allow ourselves to go through failures, allow ourselves to experience life as it comes, allow ourselves to say, maybe I'll like it, so I'm gonna go experience that. And if I don't like it, that's all good, right? That could perhaps lead to attachment, but avoiding the process of it is an avoidant person. It's not detachment. And by avoiding it, you are avoiding your future, you're avoiding your existence, you are avoiding the development of your own truth, which is exactly where we started the video. Thank you all. Peace.